Welcome to the 12th lesson of SmartKnitter, Knit Instructions Level 1. Today, we will take a look at the translation setting. After feeder setup, click Translate to Knitting Machine Code in the Tools Detail panel. Here, we can see there are many customizable options available. The translation setting introduction is separated into 3 lessons. We will go over the options one by one together. First, let's take a look at bind-off options. The first option is Bind Off with Thread Up on Last Stitch. This sets the number of rows between the initial thread up and subsequent cast off. The default is 0, which means the thread up will be cast off after finishing the binding off. We could also select different options, such as At Every Stitch or At Every Other Stitch. We could also select different methods for bind off. Next, let's move on to narrowing options. If we select No Narrowing on Carriage Side, the feeders are moved to the opposite side of the narrowing edge before narrowing. The options is not used in narrowing at every row or striped panels. The advantage is that the stitches involved in narrowing have more even tension, which increases stability. The disadvantage is that the knitting time is longer, as the narrowing on 2 edges are broken up into 2 separate rows. If we select Narrowing only on carriage side, narrowing is done directly when feeders are moved to the edge of narrowing edge. The option is not used in narrowing at every row or striped panels. The advantage is that although narrowing on 2 edges will be broken up into 2 separate rows, the knitting time is a bit faster than no narrowing on carriage side. The disadvantage is that the stitches involved in narrowing might have looser tension, thus quality is less stable. The third option is Narrow as is, which is more commonly used. Narrowing is performed without breaking up into 2 separate rows. No automatic adjustments were made, but the narrowing stitches on one side might be looser than the other. The difference between rack once and rack twice is that rack twice would first transfer the stitches for half of the number of narrowing to the opposite needle bed, then transfer back towards the narrowing directions with the remaining number of stitches on the knit instructions, while rack 1 would do everything in one go. This is the difference between traditional and reverse narrowing method. Regarding options for skipping stitch during narrowing, if we skip outside narrowing mark, the color from previous row would show. Thus, it is not recommended for striped styles. This option is only available when we choose Narrowing only on carriage side and Narrow as is to enhance the stability of the stitch tension. For narrowing in jacquard, we could either transfer to jersey for narrowing or use full needle method. When the option is checked, transfer actions sharing the same racking direction is done on the separate row. This increases efficiency if the distance between narrowing actions on 2 sides is long and transfer speed is slow. There are 3 methods for widening: cheat, add stitch at start of course, or add stitch at start of course and cheat. For widening options with fashioning mark, you could choose suitable method according to production practice. For reduce width options, if we reduce on both sides alternatively, the tension is more even and it's suitable when we have more needles to reduce, while if we reduce on one side first, it is faster. For the transfer options, each method has its strength. Continuous transfer is suitable for 2 systems carriage to minimize racing courses, results in shorter knitting time. Alternate transfer is more stable, and transfer every 2 stitches is suitable for 2x2 structures. For these two options, we could transfer edge stitch first or last. Transfer edge stitch last is suitable for structure, where edge stitch tends to fall off hook. For cable special technique, you could choose suitable method according to production practice. This marks the end of this lesson. Thank you for watching.